From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Top of the morning, security gang, and welcome to another episode of the CyberHub Podcast. It's Monday, May 12th, 2025. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. I hope everyone had a nice, relaxing weekend. And for all the mothers out there that tune into the show, and I think 30% of our listeners, we checked last week, are women. So thank you all for tuning in. If you're a mother or for all your wives, a happy belated Mother's Day here on behalf of the show. And I hope you got to enjoy some quality time with the women that matter the most in our lives. And now, packed show for all y'all today. Let's get right into the latest cybersecurity news because there's a lot to talk about. Join me for a coffee cup cheers. I've got my double espresso with just a beautiful set of I wish I would have used a clear cup for the foam on this one. Maybe I can twist it just slightly into the camera, but the best thing about an espresso is the foam. Coffee cup cheers, y'all. It's not just any foam, right? It's foam that comes, you're not adding it. It's not like when you order a macchiato, an espresso macchiato, not a caramel macchiato or any of that other stuff that Starbucks made up. But an espresso macchiato will typically have like a layer of milk foam put on top, kind of like a spoonful. This doesn't have that. This is just foam from beautifully pressed espresso. All right. Last month we talked extensively about the story and kind of its implications. Well, now we have more information becoming available after the $2 billion worth of illegal trades taking place in nearly 27,446 transactions through 5,000 accounts that were breached by attackers, making the Japanese stock market really, really jump. Japan's Financial Services Agency, also known as the FSA, provided updated figures after the initial warning that there's been a sharp increase in the number of cases of unauthorized access and unauthorized trading. In totals, the attackers conducted more than $1 billion in sales and purchases of about $902 billion. For the first 3 months of the year, the FSA previously said 12 security firms reported fraudulent transactions, with sales totaling nearly $350 million and purchases worth around $315 million. The FSA explained that the sales and purchases amounts are the total amount of fraudulent transactions within the account that was fraudulently accessed. In the vast majority of those cases, the attackers gained access through stolen login information and used them to sell stocks or other securities. They used the proceeds of the sale to buy domestic and foreign small cap stocks and other securities, again, manipulating the market. The FSA initially said many accounts were used to buy Chinese stocks, but have since removed any mention of China from the advisory. And again, that either goes into a larger part of an investigation or something else. But it's, again, you see the implication of kinetic warfare, of cyber warfare, translate to economic warfare. And this is exactly what this is. Chinese attackers went about destabilizing the Japanese economy during the roughest part of the tariffs on China. And they did that because Japan's an alternative. And if the Japan market becomes unstable, then less countries are likely to look at Japan. Japan is a country China cannot control, even though it's one of their larger trading partners. Japan and China have a long, long history of distrust and mistrust, of occupation. Japan occupies China, a whole bunch of stuff there, right? So you can obviously see that translate here. And again, this falls into the category of identities, the new perimeter. This also falls into the category for us as practitioners, one thing. Not every attack is about data. In some attacks, you're essentially a springboard. I guarantee you the CISOs in those security firms didn't imagine this to be possible, but it was, and it is. So we have that there. So again, something to keep an eye out as well. So AI generated code is really becoming a very, very big thing. CursorAI, one of the fastest growing startup. I think they were the fastest startup to get to 100 million in ARR. They beat out Wiz, right? in that. I think Wiz did it in 3 years. I think they did it in 15 months. Right? It's crazy. Well, Cursor is a proprietary IDE. It integrates AI features directly into the coding environment, and it also offers tier access to specific LLMs, and they're priced per request. So someone dropped an NPM, 3 different packages: SW Cur, SW Cur 1, and Aid Cur, and they claim to provide cheap access to Cursor. And guess what developers want to do? Get cheap access to Cursor. And so about 3,200 developers were like, great idea, let's download these packages. These packages are still live on NPM when this article was written, and Socket is now formally petitioning to have their removal. Upon execution, the malicious script contained by these packages will harvest user credential. It'll fetch payload from a remote server and decrypt and decompress it. It also replaces Cursor code with malicious code supplied by the attackers, and it restarts the application to obtain persistent remote code execution capabilities within the IDE. All 3 packages use the same credential exfiltration, payload retrieval, and decryption, as well as file path routines, showing that it was one person behind all 3. The attack, Socket warrants, could lead not only to credential and code theft or additional malware infections, but also potentially to unauthorized access to paid services and any code-based open within the IDE. So if you have people in your organizations using AI-generated code, which you likely have, and if you don't know about it, it's happening behind your back, you want to review this and you want to get these packages at the top in front of your developers to make sure they're not using them. Forescout Veeder Lab security researchers are linking an ongoing attack targeting a maximum severity vulnerability impacting SAP's NetWeaver instance to Chinese threat actors. SAP did release an out-of-bound emergency patch on April 24th, SAP, by the way, for those who may not know, to address unauthenticated file upload security flaw. That's CVE 2025-31324 in the NetWeaver Visual Composer, days after ReliQuest first detected the vulnerability being targeted in specific attacks. This exploitation activity was also being confirmed by other cybersecurity firms like Watchtower and Unopsys. Manion also observed these zero-day attacks dating back to at least mid-March. The Shadow Server Foundation is now saying that NetWeaver is now tracking 204 SAP NetWeaver servers that are being exposed online and are vulnerable, 36 of which are in North America, 74 are in Asia, 38 in Europe, 29 in Oceania, 23 in Latin America, and 4 in Africa. Many of these attacks are being linked to a Chinese threat actor labeled as Chaya004. These attacks were launched from IP addresses using anomalous self-signed certificates impersonating Cloudflare, many of them belonging to some Chinese cloud providers like Alibaba, Shenzhen, Tencent, Huawei Cloud Service, and China Unicom. The attackers also deployed Chinese language tools during the breaches, including a web-based reverse shell developed by Chinese-speaking developers. So SAP admins are advised to immediately patch their NetWeaver instance, restrict access to metadata uploader services, monitor for suspicious activities, and consider disabling the Visual Composer service if at all possible. The DOJ and Black Lotus Labs teams at telecom company Lumen Technology announced on Friday the takedown of 2 proxy services powered by a botnet of thousands of hacked devices. The Justice Department, working with Lumen and police in the Netherlands and Thailand, to dismantle the proxy service named AnyProxy and 5Socks. Their domains have been seized, and Lumen has disrupted their infrastructure by null routing all traffic to and from known control points. The DOJ also unsealed the indictment, charging 4 individuals over their alleged role in operating the services. The suspects, all Russian nationals, are Alexei Viktorovich Chertakov, who's 37, Kirill Vladimirovich Morozov, 41, Alexander Alexandrovich Shishkin, 36, and the 4th suspect is 38-year-old Kazakhstani national Dmitry Rupstov. The suspects appear to be at large, and we'll be seeing if they'll ever make it to the U.S. Likely they're in Russia. They won't be extradited there as well. Given the source of range, only about 10% are detected as malicious in popular tools such as VirusTotal, meaning this was a very, very effective botnet lab. The 5Socks website has been around for nearly 20 years, and only in recent years came to attention of authorities and some in the cybersecurity industry. It advertised more than 7,000 proxies worldwide for prices ranging between $10 and $110 in crypto per month. So the suspects are believed to have made over $46 million through renting these out. So cybercrime, a real economy. The website of iClicker, which is a popular student engagement platform, was compromised in another click fix attack that used a fake CAPTCHA prompt, tricking students and instructors and installing malware on their devices. Again, the idea of going after high school and college students is real. iClicker is a subsidiary of Macmillan and is a digital classroom tool that does allow instructors to take attendance, ask live questions, or survey, track student engagement. It's used by around 5,000 instructors and 7 million students at colleges and universities across the U.S., including University of Michigan, University of Florida, and universities in California. According to Security Alert from the University of Michigan Safe Computing team, the iClicker site was hacked between April 12th and April 16th to display a fake CAPTCHA that instructed users to press "I'm not a robot" to verify themselves. However, when they clicked on the verification prompt, a PowerShell script was silently copied into the Windows clipboard in what is known as a click fix social engineering attack. The CAPTCHA would then instruct users to open the Windows Run dialog, paste the PowerShell script, and execute it by pressing enter to verify themselves. While the click fix attacks is no longer running, a person on Reddit launched a command on any run, reversing the PowerShell payload that got executed. Unfortunately, it's not known what malware was ultimately installed, as the retrieved PowerShell script was different depending on the type of visitor. So you see those attacks taking place there. The Toronto District School Board telling parents and staff on Wednesday that it was sent an extortion letter even after they paid off attackers by the EdTech power giant Power School to prevent the leak of sensitive data. No, you want to tell me you did a deal with criminals, hoping criminals were going to be honest about the deal you made. And then when they didn't, you're like, they didn't keep the promise, and now you're pouting about it. The ultimate way to fight cybercrime is never to pay a dime. When you pay money to cyber criminals, you empower them. The entire school board should be fired in Toronto. The entire school board should be fired. I mean, this is an absolute disgrace. And they're talking about it like, look, we made a deal. This was a deal between honest people. They're cyber criminals. In what world are you making a deal with cyber criminals that they tend to hold up to? There's always a chance that you pay them and they come back and do it again. In fact, those chances increase because less and less people are paying a ransom. And so when you pay a ransom, you're likely to pay it again and again and again, because your philosophy in doing this is we can pay the ransom. And that's exactly what you did. And so there you have it. The Toronto School Board, fire them all and send them home. Send them home. Replace them with competent people. Poland is shutting down a Russian consulate after blaming Kremlin spies for an arson attack on a Warsaw mall. The Russian intelligence services were behind a blaze last year that destroyed one of Warsaw's largest shopping center. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced on Sunday the Polish government moved to shut down a Russian consulate in retaliation. We already know for sure that the big fire on the Mariwilska was the result of an arson ordered by Russian services. Again, last week we talked about this on the show. The Russians were using Polish folks in order to, they were using cyber attacks in order to gain operational efficiencies, and then they were selling that to local cyber gangs in Poland to execute on, and they were seeing that relation between the two. The actions were coordinated by a person staying in Russia. Some of the perpetrators are in custody. The rest have been identified and are wanted. Tusk said, "We will catch them all." The country's foreign minister, Radoslaw Sikorski, added that due to the evidence Russia was behind the attack, it was withdrawing its consent for Russia to continue to operate its consulate in Krakow, meaning the facility will be forced to close. Polish officials are also cooperating with Lithuanian authorities investigating similar attack, described the incident as part of an ongoing sabotage campaign. And again, disrupting the economy is key in cyber warfare. Get data, disrupt the economy, disrupt shopping, disrupt commerce, create an unsafe situation, all powers that. Again, we see that there. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton reaching a historic settlement with Google for $1.375 billion, marking it the largest amount ever recovered by a single state in a data privacy lawsuit. The agreement comes in response to allegation that Google unlawfully tracked and harvested sensitive user data, violating Texans' right. The lawsuit was filed back in 2022. We talked about it here on the show. The lawsuit accused Google of secretly collecting user information related to geolocation tracking, private incognito search, and even some biometric identifiers like voice print and facial geometry. According to the complaint, these actions were carried out without proper consent or transparency, putting millions of users' private data at risk. Attorney General Ken Paxton emphasizing the settlement sends a powerful message to technology companies that operate in Texas. In Texas, big tech is not above the law, said Paxton. For years, Google secretly tracked people's movement, private searches, and even their voice prints and facial geometry through their products and services. I fought back and won. The scale of the settlement far surpasses any similar resolutions achieved by any other states. For comparison, the highest settlement reached by any individual state before this was $93 million. And a 40-state coalition managed to only secure $391 million collectively, almost $1 billion less than what Texas accomplished independently. This is setting a benchmark. Attorney General Paxton's office has led several notable enforcement actions against big tech's misuse of personal data. They secured a $1.4 billion settlement with social media giant over its unlawful use of facial recognition technology, the largest settlement ever achieved by a single state in a biometric case. And Texas also reached a $700 million and $8 million settlement with Google. So this is going to shape the future of data privacy and everything else there. This is historic. And keep note of it, folks. Keep note of it when you're talking privacy, when you're talking use and consent. There you have it. 1.4 billion. That's, that's not doing business. That's taking a hit at your bottom line. More than 437,000 patients were impacted by the recently disclosed nonprofit healthcare Ascension Health, according to HHS. The incident did not involve Ascension's health system, but a business partner with Ascension who did expose patient data. The organization roughly said 2 weeks ago. Now the filing with HHS says, given the organization's description of the incident and having that it occurred in early December, this is likely attributed to the Clio file transfer platform, in which Klopp ransomware group exfiltrated data from multiple companies, including Hertz and Western Alliance Bank. So on Friday's update to HHS Data's breach portal shows that the attacker stole the information of 437,329 Ascension patients. They compromised names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, diagnosis, and health insurance information, and other details. So that continues to be there. Go check out our website, cyberhubpodcast.com, for all the latest and greatest there. You can subscribe. Over the weekend, we dropped a free article called The Hidden Debt We Owe Our Kids around school districts and around educating our kids around cyber and around making sure school boards actually understand what they're doing and are investing in protecting our children from ransomware attacks that stick them out of school or put them back into uncomfortable situations. That's it for our show today. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, live with all the latest and greatest. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. And most importantly, y'all, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.